Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. So you're headed to Clearlake and you haven't been here in a while and you have no idea what to tie on. Well, this video is going to help you answer that question. So one of the first things you got to ask yourself is, what's the goal of this trip? Am I trying to catch the bass of a lifetime, or am I coming up here just to have a fun day and try to catch as many fish as possible? So if the first answer to that question is I'm trying to catch the absolute best bass of a lifetime, then you're going to want to go big and you're going to want to go slow. So some of the baits that I would have on my deck, if that's the case, is you're definitely going to want to bring some glide baits. This is a glide bait I caught my first glide bait fish on this year, but I like the bigger profiles. You know what they say, big bait, big bass. So the bigger glide baits are great, but I tell you what, they really munch the small S-wavers up here. This is one of my favorite baits to throw. I got a 13 pounder a couple years ago on the S-waver on the light trout color. I've got it hanging back behind me. It's kind of in the to be saved and don't ever want to lose pile, so I don't throw it anymore. But there's a lot of old school baits that the bass up here really munch that a lot of people have just forgotten about, and one of those is the osprey. I like to throw the through line and the one with the hook. But these are baits that you can throw out there and you just slow roll them back in, and you've got an opportunity. But keep in mind, the bass are in all three stages right now. So you're going to have to be prepared to fish deep, medium, and shallow. So just keep that in mind. But also, man, it's that time of year. You can get bit on a hood right now. You just got to put in your time. It's not something you're going to go out there and just catch bass after bass after bass unless you're Paul Bailey. But I'm telling you that the hood can get you that bass of a lifetime right now. And of course, the trash fish is really popular this time of year, and it can definitely get you a big bass. But also, knowing the fact that you've got to cover more than one column, when you get up shallow, you got to have them flip baits on. I like to have a small profile, and I like to have a larger profile. You know, you got to figure out the mood of those fish and let them tell on themselves. So if I'm big bass fishing and that's my goal, those are going to be the main baits that I have on my deck. And don't forget your drop shot. That can go into the big fish category. You can get a big old bass hiding up there on that drop shot, hiding up there shallow. So with that said, let's go to, hey, I'm showing up and I'm trying to catch numbers. Well, the A-rig it really can be a player. I've had a little bit of frustration with it this year, and I've had some fantastic days with it. But man, throwing that A-rig, and this is one of my favorites, the Frenzy, it can be an insane day for you. And another forgotten jewel that a lot of people just forget, man, tie a fluke on. Get out there and throw that fluke out across through that stuff. Throw it into them flooded trees and everything. There's a chance. I mean, just got to go where the fish live. Cinco, just it's a must this time of year. You get those big followers on that glide bait. They weren't munching it last time I was out, but that Cinco is going to draw that bite. And if you're just covering water, you got to cover the water this time of year and find them, and they'll be schooled up, and that's when you go to work. But another great bait this time of year is a square bill. That can be a great search bait for you. And also in that category, when you're just covering water, giddy up, go, bam, the LV500s. Those are your search baits. Get out there and, employ those baits and find your fish, and then slow down and go after them. But another bait you just got to tie. I know we got the deck covered up with rods right now, but trust me, this is what you want to show up with. Don't get up here and say, man, why didn't I bring that? Get one with the understand. And also, I've got some buddies that are having luck with this. I'm not a real fan of the jerkbait. I just don't fish it well. But man, my fishing partner Mike Rogers is the master, and he slays them. And I've seen some of my other friends really have great days with the jerkbait. And also, you jig guys, man, it's the time of the year. You can get that big jig bite on them docks and everywhere. So anyway, you haven't been here in a while, bam. Those are the baits that you absolutely need to make sure, if they're not on your deck, at least have them in your boxes so you can make that adjustment throughout the day. Start deep, work all three colors, work yourself in and out until you find them. I mean, just plan on fishing flats, deep water transitions, the mouths of creeks. Look for the bait, look for the birds, and Come up here with an open mind. Don't get frustrated early, because the bite for me has been starting a little later in the evening, and my best bites have been in the evening. So don't let yourself get frustrated and fall apart. Just keep your head in the game. You'll put it together and you'll have a blast. Clear Lake is going to be amazing this year. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there on the water. Be sure and subscribe, like the channel, and I appreciate you guys. Peace out.